Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. Today we're going to be talking about every movie I watched last week, and it was a busy week. I had a very busy week, so let's hop into it, starting it off with my first of 16 films this week, Terrifier, which is one of the themes of the week, of course. Starting it off with Terrifier, my least favorite watch of the week, which I ranked a 14 out of 100. Sorry, Betty's on my desk. I'm just trying to keep an eye on her. Come here. Come say hi. Ugh. There we go. And everybody's going to chill for a minute. So yeah, Terrifier. I didn't enjoy it a whole lot, to be honest. I don't think many people enjoy the first one, but on the crazy low budget that it is made from, it's kind of impressive, truthfully. And Damien Leone, although maybe crazy, very creative. And that's kind of the whole thing, really, for me. Like, he's very creative throughout the entire series. So the first one, ultimately, I didn't really enjoy, but I quite enjoy Art the Clown as like a horror villain, which I'll talk about more later. Sorry. So, moving on to my second least favorite watch of the week. Which is All Hallows Eve, which is actually technically the first movie in this franchise of the Terrifier franchise. So I ranked this one a 21 out of 100. I enjoyed it a little bit more, but didn't really love this one either by any means. Yeah, I mean, mostly I thought it was fine, but just because the quality, it's not great. But again, made on a really small budget. And this was like in 2013 as well, so it's been about 10 years since this one came out. But overall, I'm just glad I was able to watch, or at least start them, because it's Halloween season, right? And watched all of them. So let's move on to another theme of the week. I got through a little bit more of the Bond films this week than I did last week, so I ended up watching, I think, 4 or 5. But we'll start it off with Diamonds Are Forever, which I ranked a 49 out of 100. I have not been enjoying the Bond movies much at all, and this one really no different, although Live and Let Die is probably... I'm talking about Diamonds Are Forever. You know what? That's just fine. We'll transition into Live and Let Die, which I also ranked to a 49 out of 100, but it's higher than Diamonds Are Forever because I enjoyed... the Bond song, Live and Let Die. It's definitely my favorite of the songs so far, although all week, and I talked to Mel about this, I've just been singing Goldfinger, but like, yeah, anyways. Solitaire is also the most attractive Bond girl, but I said in my review, fave Bond girl. 49 out of 100 also. Didn't enjoy this one. Let's move on to On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which I ranked a 55 out of 100. So all 3 of these movies are ranked a 2.5, which is really not great by any means. Sorry if you can hear Betty. She's going crazy. She's been super vocal lately. But yeah, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Shout out to George Lazenby. He was an alright Bond. I mean, he's only in one movie, so shout out him, I guess. But 55 out of 100. The great thing about this movie is definitely the action. The rest of the movie I just didn't care for, and it's way too long in my opinion. It was a really long drag to get through. Yeah. Let's move on to Terrifier 3, which I ranked a 65 out of 100, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy not most of this movie, but some of this movie. Well, I'd say a pretty good portion of this movie, actually. And for the second and the third, I honestly enjoyed them, which maybe I should be worried about my mental health if I enjoy these movies, because they're quite crazy. They're not for the faint of heart, and I know a lot of people would not enjoy these movies, and that's okay. But yeah, both of them are pretty creative. Obviously, there's some wildly creative things throughout both of them, especially the kills. And ultimately, I just think Art the Clown is the funniest horror villain, and that's really what, like, I laughed a lot during this movie, and it was an interesting movie to say the least. So let's move on to Terrifier 2, which is my favorite of the Terrifier series. I really liked everything in the clown city, or whatever, the clown town, whatever, the clown carnival, whatever it is. I really enjoyed that. That was probably one of my favorite scenes throughout. But in both Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3, Lauren Lavera was really, really awesome. I really enjoyed her. And Chris Jericho is really cool, although you can read my review. As a big WWE guy, really cool to see Chris Jericho in a movie. Though he dies in the third is fucking crazy. In the second, I don't know where I missed that scene, but apparently I missed the scene. I gotta try to find it because I've watched it online, but I could not, I never seen it in the movie, so I don't know where it was. I don't know, I must have just missed it somehow, which doesn't make any sense to me since I was watching the movie, but whatever. Terrifier 2, I enjoyed a little bit more, right to 69 out of 100, so... Moving on to another mini theme of the week, which is Monsters University and the Monsters, Inc. franchise. So I ranked this a 72 out of 100. It's gone down quite a bit. It went down 9 points from a 4-star to a 3.5. I think I was pretty generous with the 4-star ranking at first when I watched this originally. And since then, definitely don't enjoy it as much, but it was a nice watch with Mel. Yeah, I mean, I lowered it a little bit. Yeah, it's just not as good as the first, truthfully. That's really all I can say. So now let's move on to what is a really big surprise of mine, The Man with the Golden Gun, which is my favorite Bond so far, which I think is probably a hot take, but only 2 Bonds so far. 2 out of the, I think, 10 or 11 movies from Bond, or Bond movies I've watched, I've ranked a 3.5. Everything else has been 3, 2, 2.5, or 3, 2.5, 2, or half a star. So I've not been enjoying the Bonds really at all, so hopefully I'll start to enjoy them more as they come on. I do like Roger Moore so far, honestly, and yeah, Man with the Golden Gun, I just really enjoyed. I had a lot of I had a good time with it, and like I said, my favorite Bond so far, going in order of release date, and yeah, rank this one a 75 out of 100, so not bad. Let's move on to another theme of the week, which is Harry Potter, starting it off with my least favorite so far, which is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which I ranked a 76 out of 100, and actually this is the only one that I watched this week that I did not change the ranking for. I am watching this with Mel, watching through the entire franchise with Mel and our friends, who one of them have never seen the Harry Potters before, and the other one is their favorite franchise. So I'm excited to go through it with them. We've been enjoying them. Yeah, I mean, I ranked this one a 76 out of 100, so it's my least favorite. But I mean, it's a 3.5 star, so it's not bad at all, to be fair. Just didn't enjoy it as much as some of the others, but let's continue on talking about Harry Potter with the Philosopher's Stone. So this one is a little bit different, where I actually raised it. It originally was my least favorite on first watch, but now it's my, so far at least, second least favorite. So it's still bottom 2, but now it's above Chamber of Secrets. I ranked it a 74 out of 100 originally, and I raised it up to an 80 this time. I quite enjoyed it a lot more this time. John Williams, also a master at his craft, especially throughout this film and Azkaban, which we'll talk about later on as well. But yeah, I mean, a great introduction to what is this great franchise, really. So 80 out of 100 for Philosopher's Stone, and not much higher than that is Goblet of Fire, which I ranked an 81 out of 100. Truthfully, I think this movie was a bit of a letdown rewatching it this time, because I remember really loving this movie last year when I watched it, but I just didn't enjoy it as much this year, to be honest. I felt like a lot of this movie was kind of just filler, which is weird because it's only a 8-movie franchise, but yeah, I don't know. It just kind of felt like a filler movie, to be honest, for the most part, until about the last half hour. Obviously, that's where the plot really moves forward, and that's where it gets a lot better. In my opinion, at least. The ending is really great. Cedric, that's my freaking man. We love Cedric. The ending is quite sad. I was getting a little emotional with it, and yeah, I mean, ultimately the best thing that this movie does is explores the wizarding world, which I'm a really big fan of. We get a lot more context. We get port keys, we get new magic, we get finally the reveal of Voldemort, of course. So really awesome, and I'm excited to continue the movies. This is where we ended off this week, so we'll probably watch some more hopefully next week. But let's move on to another rewatch of mine. There was a lot of rewatches this week, but the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which Mel and I really enjoy. This has become one of Mel's favorite movies. She ranked it a 100 out of 100 on rewatch yesterday, so that's really awesome. And I really enjoy it as well. It's just nostalgia, but also a fun time, and I really, really enjoyed it. I ranked it an 82 out of 100 this time, raising it 4 points from last year when we had watched it together, and justice for Yoshi, man. He deserves better. Why is he not in this movie? I'm excited for the next one when it comes out, I think in 26, and hopefully we'll get more Yoshi content at that point. So let's move on to what I believe to be the top three. We have a really good top three this week. Starting it off with Monsters, Inc. This is my favorite movie from my birth year of 2001. This is one of my favorite movies from my childhood. This is one of my most watched movies from childhood as well. I vividly remember watching this movie very many times on like a mini DVD player about this big. This was the screen size. And I know, like, I couldn't even finish the movie because the disc was so scratched. It was really, really bad. But overall, love this movie. I think it holds up great. I actually think the animation is better in this movie than it is in Monsters University, which is kind of wild. Because there's like I think 15-year gap or 12-year gap. I don't remember. Anyways, one of the childhood classics for me. It's always going to be a high ranking. Love this movie. Don't mind rewatching it at any time. Plus, it's monsters, which it's spooky season. So, yeah. Let's move on to number 2, which is Prisoner of Azkaban. Now, as of right now, on rewatch, this is my favorite Harry Potter. It was my second favorite last year when I had originally gone through them for the first time. So this time it's currently number 1 on rewatch. I'm intrigued to see how that holds up, if it does hold up. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one a lot more. The complete tonal change of this franchise is so good, and going from 1 and 2 to 3, huge tonal change, and then going from 3 to 4, again, another huge tonal change. If like it was 1, 2, 4, 3, then the rest of the franchise, like 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, are quite dark, and they fit better together. I find like 1, 2, 4 would fit better, just like vibe wise, tonally wise, just because the light versus the dark. But anyways, this movie's fucking amazing, man. It's so fucking good. And my 2 favorite movies, I realized, are where Harry and Hermione are together for most of the movie. So that's what a lot of this movie is, and that's what a lot of not Philosopher's Stone, of Deathly Hallows Part 1 is, which was my favorite on first watch. So I'm excited to see what will change, how much things will change. My ranking has changed quite a lot, the rankings itself and the actual movie ranking. So we'll see. But overall, incredible movie, pretty much. Yeah, let's move on to my favorite watch of the week, which is honestly the most surprising of the week, but Smile 2. I ranked this a 97 out of 100 to give it a perfect 5-star. Not a perfect movie by any means, but a amazing, incredible 5-star. I absolutely love this movie. I've been talking to Mel about it ever since I watched it, and it's not a movie Mel will ever watch, but my god, man, I loved this movie so much. It was so amazing. Absolutely everything was amazing. It had very effective horror for me, and I don't get scared in horror movies often, but there was many scenes where I was, scared. There was a few times where I got jump scared. I don't get like huge jump scares, but there was a few times where the movie got me. It was super thrilling. I loved the music, and honestly, I think I've learned that one of my favorite genres right now is horror musicals, which shout out Trap, shout out Smile 2, both coming out this year. So Naomi Scott is also a fucking freak of nature in this movie. She's absolutely amazing. She's incredible. The cinematography is fantastic. The directing as well is amazing. I love the attention to detail in the background. Just take a look around. There are smiles everywhere. It's so good. The line between what's real and what's not is incredible. It's hard to tell, and it's fun to figure out what is what. And the ending I really enjoyed. I think the ending will lose a lot of people, but in my opinion now, spoiler alert, the ending, this just means this franchise could grow so much more now. So many people could be affected by this smile disease. So I really, really love this movie. I want to see it again. Mel thinks I shouldn't see it for a while, but I really want to rewatch it in theaters because the theater experience with it is just going to be so much better. Nonetheless, I just rambled for so long. Go watch Smile 2. Amazing, in my opinion. And I know I'm higher on it than most people, but that's just my opinion. So I'd recommend it. Go check it out if you're a fan of horror. But nonetheless, thank you guys all so much for watching. This is a very different week for me because I watched 16 movies the past 2 weeks. I barely hit 10. So this is really the difference of when I'm watching movies with Mel and when we're not watching TV. Where the past 2 weeks we've been watching a lot of TV, no movies. This week we watched 6 movies together, no TV. So that kind of shows you the difference. But nonetheless, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.